Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here today to do my quick review of episode 4 of Fena Pirate Princess, which aired last night on Adult Swim at midnight. Now, I'm just going to give some of the things I liked and disliked about the show, and then some final thoughts at the end. Some of the things I really liked was, again, some of the jokes really stuck to me, especially towards the end of the episode with the whole gag of, oh, this girl's clearly flirting with Yukimaru. I think her name was like oh god, I forgot her name already. It was like Aria or something like that, something German or something. I thought it was funny, especially how everyone was like, especially Shitan was like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely flirting with him." I like those jokes and how like Fana got more and more jealous and more dissuaded. The more and more Aria clearly was making moves towards Yukimaru. And at the very end, when she was clearly making that final move, saying, "Hey, you could stay the night if you want to," and he's like, "No, sorry, I'm with my homies, I'm with my team." And I like that too. How he's like I said this in like my review of the first episode. He's gonna be like the ultimate thought slayer. He's the one person that's not gonna put up with any of that, and that puts him at contrast with like the two Goblin twins, which are like literally the previous episode, literally mid fight was flirting with the girls they're beating up. I thought that was kind of funny. And also, another thing about this episode is last week I said, this is okay. This week episode had a pseudo filler feel where it's like half of these moments really feel like they're just padding out time, but at the same time, there's still tidbits that led towards a plot. That last week being the whole finding the similar stone and learning where it was made, so that was their next location. This episode, we had the continuation of that plot where they went to that village in Germany, and another thing I liked was the interesting twist of the whole, "Oh, the commission of this stone was commissioned by Joan of Arc. However, it was commissioned 5 years after she was very publicly burned at the stake for being a witch." I could go into, like, a complete nerd out session about just how weird Joan of Arc, like, the whole story behind Joan of Arc was. Long story short, the French were getting their asses handed to them by the British, and then apparently somebody told the king of France, "Hey, by the way, this random 13-year-old girl had these schizophrenic visions that God said that she's gonna lead the French army to victory," and he's like, "You know what? I'm out of options. Let's have it. Let's let her do it," and it like works. I just thought it was really funny. But I digress. I'm getting distracted. And at the end of the episode, we had a nice little thing about Pucelle de Lorient, which which was something that Fana vaguely had a recollection of, like, talking to Yuki Mars, like, "I have a feeling I called someone or someone called me that at one point." And then the episode, you had a pan out of, like, the general who's conspiring with the evil woman saying, like, "Ah, la pucelle," or something like that, of a portrait of an older woman who looks a lot like Fana. So, presumptively, that's her mother. So that's me interesting twist because we hadn't seen her mother yet. We've talked about her father, but that we don't know anything about her mother yet, so it's interesting to see where she plays in that role. Presumably, she's dead at this point. Interesting to see how that plays into it. And again, the mystery of the show is pretty interesting, and I like that. Now, some of the things I don't like about this episode. The entire first half of the episode, or rather the part of the episode before the commercial break, felt very disposable. That being the whole subplot of Fana wanting to learn a weapon to defend for herself, which, again, that's a plot that has merit because been established that she is far and away the weakest person on this boat. Every single person's a ninja, and even Tsubasa, whatever the name of the cute guy with freckles is, even he can defend himself. So it's like she wants to be able to. She specifically says to save Yukimaru in reference to him getting shot in the last episode. But I mean, he got shot and just kept running. But she and that connects, and it's like this kind of just like carrying on 13-minute gag of Shitan, taking her from, like, person to person, and the whole thing is like, oh, they try to help him, but, like, Fana just couldn't quite get it, and it's not like and I compared this last week, seeing this plot line set up to The Promised Neverland season 2, where he had that mini plot line where he had, Shinji, or whatever the name of the big demon guy was, teaching Emma how to fight and strongly alluding, "You're probably gonna have to kill people to protect your family, Emma." And like you still had this nice moment at the end between these two characters, Sanju, whatever his name is. Jeez, why am I forgetting that already? The guy who was with Mujika the whole time. He's like, "Emma, you're gonna have to protect the people you love. You're gonna have to kill some stuff. And I know that's not part of your nature, but you're gonna have to do this. And you have to understand that." And that was for how bad season 2 was, that was a good plot line, a good moment. But this one, it just felt like a gag that kept carrying on with no real ending. And at the end of it, it's not like she used the sword and did something good with it. She just like learned nothing. And that was like 13 minutes of lollygagging on this boat before getting to this small village in Germany where apparently this stone was made, you know? And that felt like it was a scene that really didn't need to happen. I digress. Again, overall, I thought this was overall still a pretty solid episode. If I had to rate it, I would give this episode another 8 out of 10. This has been a pretty good show so far. And again, I'm looking forward to next week. What do you guys think? What do you think? What's your opinions? What's your thoughts on it? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. I'm the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.